Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel for another collab between myself and Miles. We've previously discussed the previous Regeneration stories and scenes over on Miles' channel, so go and check that out if you haven't already. Yeah. Today we're going to be discussing the upcoming Regeneration story, the Centenary special.
What a great title.
Yes. So we're on the verge of news.
What's the date today?
Today is what, the 12th of September. Doctor Who magazine comes out on the 15th, Thursday. And then we think... I mean, we're basically just over a month away, probably. I think we can probably discuss when we think it's actually going to air. But certainly...
It's actually quite insane that we don't know when it's going to be on. But
yeah. I mean, I think the Centenary itself, at the actual date, is maybe like the 16th of October, I want to say. Something like that. And then there's like the weekend after that, weekend before, or, you know... You don't know what we're going to do. No. But yeah, we're at that strange point in time recording where we don't quite have enough information yet to do a preview or anything. But we thought we would just, take stock, I suppose, of everything we do know and speculate about, particularly about the circumstances of the Regeneration and just what we want to see from the story, I guess.
Yeah. Because it is interesting not knowing. I mean, you were saying this because I put out a tweet today about the fact that on the Doctor Who magazine cover that's been
lovely
put out,
cover of Sasha.
Lovely cover of Sasha. Great. With his, that's the subscribers cover that Richard just did there. That's so basically on that it says 20-page coverage of the Centenary
Sophie
special.
Aldred, Janet Fielding,
Patrick O'Kane,
Ray Holman, everybody. So it looks significant.
But it doesn't say, it just says the Centenary special, which made me just think, it literally hasn't been, even these people are promoting it as the Centenary special. So I was starting to wonder whether we were getting a sort of a TV movie situation where it was called that. But you did point out to me that Flux, it was... I mean, to be honest, I think it was halfway through the series when we didn't even have the titles for, the Vanquishers and all that sort of stuff.
So the titles were announced on social media, I think, weekly. But the first one, the first episode didn't come until very late in the day. I can't remember the exact time scale. I suppose it must have been, a week or two beforehand, I guess. Because the issue of Doctor Who magazine came out. I remember that, in mid-October. And that previewed the first two episodes, but it didn't give titles. So I was kind of thinking, are they just going to be called Chapter 1 and Chapter 2?
Yeah.
And we've got a similar sort of thing here.
So maybe it is just a case of this is what this production team do. They just don't. They don't reveal this.
I mean, you were pointing out before recording that I guess it could be intentional to draw attention to the Centenary.
Yeah, someone said that on Twitter. They were like, maybe that's the reason. Maybe they're just sort of... Because, like I was saying to you, I don't know what else the BBC are doing for the Centenary.
Yeah, not much, by the way. I mean, I think there are special editions of stuff I don't know, Strictly or whatever, but across a week in October.
Yeah. So other than that, though, it's
very late in the day to sort of,
So maybe they're just sort of relying on that sort of hype to sort of drum up some trade for the Centenary. I don't know until the very last minute. My sort of thoughts were either it is genuinely called the Centenary special, either there's a spoilery element to it, but I think that's quite unlikely because, well, I mean, we know pretty much everyone who's going to be in it now, surely. And it's not like it can reveal any plot details. And then the other reason was just maybe they just can't be bothered. But I think that you're right. Maybe it is just a case of this kind of production team just wait.
Yeah.
Although it has changed over, hasn't it? I swear the social media team is now a new...
Oh, it's a new brand manager or something.
So I wonder how that works. Because they've kind of moved out now, surely.
Just to get the facts right then, so the Centenary itself is the 18th of October, which is a Tuesday. So if we're going by Sundays, that week it could be the weekend beforehand, so the 15th or 16th. It could be the weekend after 22nd, 23rd, which would give chance for Doctor Who magazine to do another issue before that, a couple of days beforehand. Interestingly, we don't really know what's going on there.
No, we've not got any kind of idea really of
no.
I mean, there's been rumours of the title. Have you heard the rumours of
the
woman who fell to time?
I think that's a fan thing that's kind of
Do you think?
gained traction.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
I mean, who knows? But there's been a lot of speculation about the title containing the word time, just more generally as well, because of the precedent of the previous Regeneration stories.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, we were mentioning that, weren't we? The end of time of the Doctor, twice upon a time.
So who knows?
Yeah, it's possible, but I think Woman Who Fell to Time isn't that great.
Not quite there, is it?
Yeah,
no, I don't think
a
so.
bit. Yeah. So yeah. What?
What do we know? It's interesting. I would say as well. It's interesting because, like, looking back at previous instances in the show's history of things like this, Waters of Mars that aired like, I want to say like around the 10th of November or mid-November. I was looking back at like articles and stuff. We didn't actually get that much information about it until a month, like mid-October.
Yeah.
So I guess it is. I think people have sort of exaggerated the thing about the promotion. At the same time, it would be nice to have more, and you'd have thought that, well, Queen aside, that we are sort of on the verge of it now, you'd have thought. So we're just kind of waiting any day now, aren't we, for that extra push.
You are right, though. It is that society, like, we're in this kind of day and age where a Marvel film coming out in 2025 is announced, title and all.
Yeah.
So I think people have this kind of this idea that, well, if it's coming out in a month, we should definitely know it by then. And I do have that myself, like, promote your show. But maybe they're just sort of hoping to really kind of get people excited in that final run up to it,
I think so.
The hype doesn't die down. It's just there. There must be a reason for it. But yeah, it'll be exciting to see what comes out in Doctor Who magazine. I hope we get some hints. 20
pages, so you'd have thought, images and stuff.
At least a date. I just want a date to get excited for, because that is. I think that is. I mean, we didn't know. To be honest, we didn't know about Flux really until late in the day, because everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to come out on Halloween." Why aren't they saying
a week before, week after, whatever? We didn't quite know.
So it's kind of like it just would be nice to get excited for a sort of 2 weeks time, 1 week time. We'll know soon, but yeah. So
the Regeneration itself, then, I guess, to move on to the main focus of this video. Just off the bat, I guess, what do you want her demise to be? Do you have any ideas about?
I want her to get her face pummeled in, but no, that is a joke. That is a joke. I don't know. I mean, so we've talked about the previous Regeneration stories. The big theme is kind of radiation poisoning.
Yes.
What other kind of deaths have we had? We've had spectrotoxemia.
Yeah.
We've had
falls, haven't we?
We've had falls from great heights. We've had time vortex exposure. We've had a lot of exposures.
That is the big one they kind of go back to, isn't it?
Obviously, we've got the trailer. The only thing we have at the minute is the trailer, and it ends with a shot of Jodie going Yaz, and her hands are on fire. Well, obviously, I'd assume to do with Regeneration, she's not just put her hands in a bonfire and gone, oh shit. So it almost looks like, I don't know why, in my head, she's in like a booth, like tenants
it looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Is that have I just projected that myself?
Like the Four Knocks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that? Am
it
I
definitely looks like she's in some kind of
chamber.
Yeah, chamber. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that's not going to be the Regeneration, obviously.
No.
Do you think that we're in for some sort of scenario where that's like our cold open, where we open the story and straight into it, Yaz and Dan get taken out, and the Doctor's shoved in this thing. She starts to regenerate. Boom, 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 and then somehow,
who knows? Yeah.
Well, the Master cuts it off. Maybe the Master, because this Master is, tapped. Maybe he's like, I'm gonna make you suffer like so much. So here you go. I'm gonna make you start regenerating from second one, and you're gonna endure like a span of time, and I'm going to bring in all this stuff.
It would be nice to have that kind of like we were saying in the previous video, the trail of events that's set in motion. Like, she gets poisoned or whatever, or infected or something like that, and then kind of it is that sort of slow burn, and maybe she doesn't tell companion straight away, and maybe it's just kind of
that's such a weird thought.
that thing, isn't it? Of just
isn't it so?
it back.
Yeah. Isn't it so bizarre to think that there is going to be? It sounds morbid when I'm putting it now, but like there is going to be a way her doctor's going to die. Like that's such a strange thought.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're going to look back and go, you know, that's what caused it. You know, because it is such a significant thing, really, isn't it?
Huge.
And like the 10th Doctor says, you don't want it to just be, you know, tripping over a brick. It's like a big moment. So it is interesting what it's going to be like when we see these lists and how each Doctor like met their end.
I guess it's whether it's like could kind of go two ways with it, because you've got like these forces massing against her and everything, and the Master. Maybe that's what finishes her off. Maybe she survives all that, and it's just something more sort of mundane, or just
Who knows whether it could be a kind of a whole. Because one thing, I don't know if they've ever done it, I'm trying to think in my head, but the kind of, the threat gets resolved, the day's saved. It's a bit like Tennant.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Boom. No, you're not. And that whole kind of like so close and yet so far. Maybe we're in for that. Like
maybe when he says like this is the day you die, maybe he doesn't succeed. There's something else, you know. Maybe
that whole kind of 180.
Yeah.
Just made me think of something actually. Can I get one of your Doctor Who files?
Go for it. Yeah.
Because I think it's the Doctor one. Yeah, it's this one here.
Is there a list of them in there?
That's the thing. This is back in the day. I mean, we should have got this out for the Regeneration one, really. But back in the day, like I had this. This was one of the first kind of Doctor Who books I got, and it had in it. Gosh, Richard, the pages in this brittle. I genuinely don't think I can open it.
Is it?
What page would it have been? So that had information on the. These are really well put together.
Yeah, I love them.
Is this it? No, that's about the sonic screwdriver. But yes, here we go.
Regeneration.
So there was a page on regeneration in this book.
I see.
And this was the first kind of thing that I had to indicate what happened to them all. So let's go.
Let's go through them.
We've got body wearing out.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Appearance changed by the Time Lords. That was always a spooky one to me. Like, what's gone on there? Poisoned by radiation. Poisoned by regeneration. Poisoned by radiation. Cool. Falling off a radio telescope. Infected with spectroxtoxemia. A very bizarre one to me. I was like, what?
Okay.
Number 6 is the funniest one. Hitting his head on the TARDIS console.
Yeah.
That was a genuine... Justin Richards, whoever wrote this book, was like, let's put that. Shot by a street gang.
Yes.
Number 8, this dates it.
Okay,
we don't know. Was the Doctor hurt during defeating the Daleks in the Time War?
Interesting.
And then number 9, absorbing the energy of the Time Vortex to save Rose.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird time capsule. And then you get added to that list, you know, again, another poisoned by radiation.
Yeah, a talent, yeah. I mean, what do you even say for Smith?
What is Smith?
Just,
he blew up. He just got old.
Yeah.
Did he just get old?
I think, yeah, pretty much. Like the Daleks, sort of vaguely, but it's like not like a specific thing.
I think it was we wore a bit thin, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what happened to John Hurt, and then that's what also happens to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's genuinely that he just gets so old that he dies, and then for Capaldi, it's
similar. Well,
no, he gets
has a battle, doesn't he? But like
he gets shot by a Mondasian Cyberman in the back, and
and
then he also blows himself up as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot that happens to Capaldi in that final one.
That's interesting.
Actually, isn't
with the previous two in particular, like you say, we have those lists where it's like here's a
the
specific
definitive thing
that
it
was.
He hit his head.
with Smith and Capaldi, you can't quite pinpoint that. So I do hope for Whisker we get
something.
Like
it's not as nebulous.
Or like a moment where she realises, you know. Working nicely.
I mean, will it be a definitive thing, like a weapon hits her? It's very morbid, isn't it? We're sort of talking about how will she get killed?
Yeah. I mean, there's two interesting spins to potentially put on this. So first of all, it's the first post-Timeless Child and Timeless Children regeneration.
Sure.
So we've got regeneration itself is kind of different to how it was before. So whether that's going to change how we view things, I don't know. Also, you know, it might not have a bearing on it, but first post-COVID regeneration.
Yeah, was this shot in COVID?
This was shot like a year ago, basically.
To be honest, not that that's really affected what we've seen so far. Like I would never have.
Yeah.
Guessed.
Okay. Yeah. But I was thinking more about...
about, like,
they're gonna,
I see.
Yeah, bring something similar. Or, I don't know. Maybe. Or
like as in
a
terms of the
virus.
storyline, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's almost like we've passed enough time now to make
Yeah,
that. I don't think so. I can't see
not.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Will the Ruth Doctor have a hand in it? Or was she involved in some way?
Gets a gun and...
Shut up.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Because will she even be in it, do you reckon? I don't know.
I do. Yeah, I think.
Do you think she'll be sort of a Watcher scenario, maybe?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. I mean, I think because twice now we had Sasha and Joe Marston at a convention earlier in the year, I think, and then just a weekend or two ago we had Sasha and Joe Martin and Jodie all in Birmingham.
Yeah,
and like you can tell from when they've done panels and stuff, and when they're together in photos and stuff. Like with Joe Marston and Sasha, there's clearly that they've met each other before on the set. I would be very surprised if she wasn't in it. I mean, it's been suggested that, like, going back to the Timeless Child thing, the Master's gonna like imprison her and like try and extract the source of regeneration from her or something. But then he's kind of already done that with like the Cyber Masters.
You know what? But I do think you've got something there with the whole extraction thing. She's in a chamber. With
the chamber, yeah. That's what
she's having things taken out of her. Maybe it's some sort of a trap. The Masters. Maybe it's like a trap. Maybe it's like a. They come in. He springs the trap.
Maybe trying to find a way to stop her regenerating. Perhaps maybe that would be quite cool.
Yeah. Maybe that's the idea of taking the regeneration energy away, so
pull
she
the plug
can't.
Out and just.
And that's the whole. You're gonna die. What was
no
it? No
life, no regeneration, all that sort of stuff. No time, whatever it is.
And obviously, there's going to be something that happens to.
Of course,
but is there something?
Broad sense,
Now here's something as well, because there's a whole thing. We've got this whole new era coming with Russell coming in. I wonder how much this is going to be linked to it, because it's not just a case of here's a new Doctor. We've got this whole Tennant scenario going on.
Well, see, I was having conversations with people about this, like at the BFI, the Abominable Snowman, afterwards, and like, if what we've been told is true, Chibnall didn't find out who was taking over, like Russell, until literally a couple of days before.
Yeah.
So that there's been speculation about there being some sort of conversation there, but I don't know whether, practically speaking,
it's possible.
Maybe that's like a literal impossibility.
I genuinely can't see it being like any plot points like hanging over.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that we might be anticipating a very strange thing.
Maybe.
Of Tennant coming back but not coming back.
Yeah, of course.
So my thought, maybe what we're in for is in terms of the regeneration, is that it's the kind of the cliffhanger is the whole she just regenerates as normal. Tennant, what? Boom! I mean, that's my.
It's been suggested,
I'm going to put a tenner down
on
that. The last line of the episode is going to be
what?
What? Like that. That is
some
going to
weird
be.
stuff. Well, first of all, how the TARDIS set was dismantled, so presumably no one else could have filmed on it after they finished. But also, like, have you heard? Well, I guess kind of following on from that, there's rumours that she's going to regenerate outside the TARDIS and like possibly on a cliff or something. I don't quite know.
Where have I heard that?
I don't quite know
well.
how much how truthful that could really be. I think that might just be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll.
Well, poetically, in terms of like, she's had a lot to do with like. Do you think she's going to regenerate where Ryan's on his bike? Do you think Ryan's going to knock into her? She's going to be stood there like, I didn't die, and Ryan comes in.
Well, I think actually now you say that because was the same location. Well, the same location where they filmed the Matrix bit with her and the Master on the hill.
Ah, okay.
Which is in turn the same location where they filmed the shot of the TARDIS key on top of the plinth for the beacon for the teaser.
There you go.
So that'd be quite nice.
That would be a nice bit of symmetry.
Maybe that is just like, it's a cliff. Maybe that's kind of got lost in translation. Well, it's not a cliff, but it's a hill.
Because here's the thing, like.
But then you got cliffs in the Timeless Child and in Broadchurch as well. So it's like it could conceivably be that, but I don't know whether I can see it.
And I do agree that like it would make so much more sense for it to be outside the TARDIS, like not inside, because more so than ever, it feels like this is really the end of like this is the bookend
moment, yes.
to like like I think everything is going to have to be wrapped up really. Because we're in for a real fresh thing for the anniversary, and then Shooty coming in.
Palate cleanser.
Yeah. So I think that like Yaz is gone, Dan's gone somehow.
Yeah.
Graham's rumours to be coming back and all that sort of stuff. So are we in for an end of time-esque thing where she does a bit of a farewell tour?
Yeah, I think that's what that is. Like the scenes we've been that was shot like in the park or whatever, like where she's there with the TARDIS, and that's where Graham was.
That's where Bradley Walsh was.
Yeah.
With John Bishop.
I keep going back to that, but I think that she's gonna like drop off all the companions there, maybe have like a little brief one-on-one with not like that, but like a little conversation with Yaz. They have a little moment there with Yaz.
Yeah.
And then like Yaz goes and joins them, and then they go off and join like John Bishop and
that's the thing though. I
and
can't.
Bradley Walsh and maybe Ryan.
Yeah.
And they just walk
maybe they'll
off into the
CGI.
sunset.
Maybe they'll CGI him in like they did with
with
Jenna
Grace.
Coleman. Yeah, Grace as well. Yeah.
Yes.
They just have a thing about doing that, don't they? It's just, or he's on like FaceTime. It's just on
YouTube.
Yeah. So today, we talk about.
Oh dear.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I think you're right. Like that could be possible, but I just can't see Yaz going quietly in a way. You know, like I can't see after all the stuff they've built up, Yaz has got to go in some way that she can't get back to the Doctor because she won't. I just can't see.
I still think she might choose if she knew the Doctor was dying and not going to be
the same.
Then I guess.
But then why would she do that?
Like
that is really superficial. That's like I fancy this you.
Yeah.
I don't fancy David Tennant.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like what.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What is that? That's a really. I don't like that idea of that message kind of being there for Yaz. Like I don't think that's going to happen. But like, I just think that either she is gonna. We keep saying this about Chibnall's companions. Like they're gonna die, or
I don't see it.
I don't know. Do you not think?
I don't see it.
Yeah, you should be honest.
But
honest,
then
now
again,
that you say it, I don't think it's
you don't see it, then they could just pull it out.
I mean, I don't know.
I'd still like them to part on good terms if they've like if there's a way of
like
getting to that point where maybe they both kind of realise it's not going to work. Yeah, I'd like a divorce, I guess. That's the closest thing I guess I could like.
Happy ending. The Centenary special ends in a divorce.
Yeah,
I just think
don't know.
it's just like a bit too quiet,
a bit too abrupt,
a bit too weak, really.
Yeah.
Which has been kind of my vibe with a lot of like the Chibnall kind of stuff. Just personally, that's just me. Like I think that there's been like Graham's exit just felt very much like. If you're going, I might as well.
I like that though.
I don't. I just
Fair
think
enough.
it just that's just personally.
Yeah.
Look at us,
I
and we're
know what
still
you mean.
friends.
I know
We're
what
still
you mean.
friends. We
Yeah.
disagreed, and we still friends.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's it's just personally, it just felt a bit like we couldn't really think of a way to write you out, so you might as well just leave.
Oh yeah, you definitely get a sense like I don't know Bradley Walsh's commitments are getting too much. So let's
got
just,
too
like,
many seasons. I'm recording
let
Chase
him go.
next week.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want that to be another ending. I think Dan. I can see Dan going like that. I can see him going. Di's got back in touch with me.
Yeah.
I think they've set that up a bit in the Legend of the Sea Devils. Like she's like, I'm ready to get.
Well,
back
again, I was talking to the BFI people, and the consensus seems to be that maybe the final scene will be them on the date.
Final scene. The Regeneration happens. Post-credit scene. So, do you know much about Sea Devils then?
No, they're the final scene for Dan. I like sort of,
love that. Shit, Jodie comes to the date and just dies on the table. I'm allergic to shellfish. And David Tennant, what?
Oh my god.
There we go, confirmed.
Yeah. But no,
Jodie regenerates in Nando's. Yeah. Oh no! We've gone again. This time Tom's the one. Tom's taking a tumble. Oh no, Davison just wants to get off the table.
Tom.
Oh, symbolism.
She's the final one left standing.
Yeah.
Yeah. to end then, I guess going back to Jodie, one final thing I'd like to kind of throw in there is this idea that we've had throughout her era of like you are the universe, Doctor, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Where she's like almost this personification of the universe, of goodness versus evil, like with Swarm and Azure, kind of like the whole thing of like space versus time, life versus death, and like entropy and all this weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'd like it to kind of go back to that idea. So maybe, I don't know, maybe she sacrifices herself for the greater good, or maybe there's just this sense, even if it's not that, just in the moment where she dies, like there's this sense of the universe dying, if that makes sense. Like
well, that's the whole thing of time.
Like
time
yeah.
has been sort of so crucial into it. Yeah. So it's, yeah, I suppose there is going to be a sort of epicness to it.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
I am interested in how Chibnall's going to do it. Like, what's the final line going to be? It's all that to sort of think about. There's all these monumental things.
Yeah.
And
I
Tegan?
Oh gosh, Braveheart.
Yeah.
I think as well, like
that's going to be in that. That line's going to be in there. You know it already. Braveheart Tegan. That's going to be literally
like the baseball bat with Ace. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's right. Like you're saying, and like there's a lot of that which I think kind of people are almost sort of overlooking. Like because there's not been because there's been a bit of a radio silence. People sort of are overlooking the fact that we're a month or so away from this, and there's going to be all these monumental things happening in it, and it's going to be a part of history and a moment in history.
Yeah. Like it is quite, now that we're talking about it, I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
But I'm more excited for that than the Daleks and the Cybermen coming back. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm more excited to know like what's going to be the thing that tips Jodie's Doctor over the edge.
Yeah.
What's a fine line going to be? I'm not like gagging to see why Shad, the Cyberman, is back.
No,
it's like there's yeah. I hope they kind of play on that a bit more in the marketing. Maybe they've been like, well, let's tease them with who they're gonna see, and then now that we're getting closer, let's tease them with what we're gonna see, because it's exciting knowing that Jodie's gonna have her final episode soon. Like this is gonna be like the bookend. This is what we'll look back on when we're talking about regeneration stories in future. We'll be going, it was great.
I think it is going to be big, and like personally as well. I can see myself getting emotional about it. Maybe I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess it depends how they sort of deliver it, how they execute it, but
and how much you've drunk as well.
Well, but just it is big, and
it's interesting, isn't it? It's. Yeah, I'm excited for
end of an era, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm excited, even though the era has not been like my bag totally. Like I'm excited for. I keep saying this at the end of the year, we're going to do like a retrospective, like the entire Chibnall era. But as an era that's not been like my cup of tea 100% of the time, I am still excited to see how we finish off. Like how we're going to get over the finish line. Because it's exciting. It's an exciting thing, There's all these things to consider, really. And it's going to be interesting. So I don't know how she's gonna. In conclusion, I don't know how she's gonna go.
No,
but I think you've got it though with that whole extracting the regeneration thing. I think that's a thing.
Because I've seen a lot of people say he could be extracting the source of it from her. Maybe it is more likely that he's trying to like just take it out of her, so she's got nothing left to regenerate with.
Yeah, so maybe she is gonna die.
More likely, yeah. I can see that happening. Which is in a weird sort of way exciting to see how that's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, it's something different, isn't it? It's and it ties into everything that we've led up towards. The whole no regeneration, no life.
Yeah.
And the masters sort of this is the day you die. I think that is. You know what? I don't think that's going to be the end of the episode. I don't think that's going to be what kills her off. I certainly think that's going to be
like his plan. Do you think
his plan?
Yeah, his
and maybe a cold open, if not the sort of halfway mark.
Okay, yeah.
That whole kind of act 2 when things all seems lost. You've got all the other things to think about as well. With Kate Stewart and Ace and Tegan.
Gosh, yeah. And the orange
Ashad.
space,
The orange space suits as well.
That image kind of gives me vibes of that's going to come fairly late on in the day, like in the episode, I think.
Like, do you think I was going to say the opposite? I was going to be like a throwaway, like the first.
I guess it could be
the first bit. I like it's going to be them exploring a space station, and then she's like, "Oh, what's happening here?" And they'll get changed.
Yeah, sure, maybe so because Dan's in one as well. That would make sense.
Yeah, I think all of them are going to be like. It's just going to be like that sort of quirky adventure. Oh, great! This is
okay. Now you say that, I can see that.
Yeah.
But anyway, let us.
Sorry to dampen that.
No. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Indeed, you might have more information than we do. We just don't know quite when it's all going to get going. The gear up and everything. Yeah. But yeah, thoughts, opinions, feelings, theories, predictions down below about how she's going to die, I suppose, and what you want the episode to be, really. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. Hopefully, probably not in the not too distant future for like a proper preview and then review of it. I guess.
We're gonna
maybe other stuff as well. I don't know, just whenever happens. But certainly for the episode itself.
Do a big review.
Yeah,
big breakdown of
that extra bit of information, and everything started up.
And then eventually by the end of the year, a
retrospective
of everything.
Yes,
and then looking forward to what's to come. Will we get a Christmas special this year? All that sort of stuff to think about. So who knows?
I don't think so. To be honest, do you?
I don't know. I want there to be.
Yeah,
probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a topic on the video.
That's a whole other thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Check out all the other stuff, and goodbye for now.
Bye bye.